Hello gardening friends, welcome to Backyard Basics. Maybe you go out of town now and then, 3 days, even up to 7 days or so, and you need to take care of your houseplants. Maybe someone comes over for you now and then. You may not need that. You may be able to take care of them just by putting them in a container and grouping them all in there. You know, if you put water into the bottom of the container, it may be too wet for that period. We don't need it to be that wet. And so one of the things that we can do is to put them in the container. Let me show you this little ficus. It's a great house plant right here. And so this little ficus goes in there, and all around it, I've already done this, but we take some newspaper and then wad it up like that, stuff it in. We stuff it in everywhere. You can see that it's all in between all of the plants in there. And so the next thing to do in order to keep them nice and moist, first you water the plants. And then you put this in there, and it insulates it also. And so what I'll do is just wet them down each time. And I'm not overfilling the bottom. There may be a little bit of water down there, but not all that much. And so this is a very good way. You got to keep it in the right light though. So near a window would be the way you had them before. You may as well put it back in that spot. Nice containers of different types are available at different stores, and I think that putting your houseplants in something like this makes sure that they're in good shape when you get home. These plants are great house plants. This is the Ficus elastica, a very good one. And this is the Nyanthobella, one of my favorite little palms. And this is a dwarf one. So it does very, very well in the house and grows very nicely. I've put the paper in there, a little bit of moisture. They're all wet. And I can leave them alone. Put them by the window. Don't hide them. Some people do something like this in a bathtub, that's fine, but getting all that paper wrapped around them and insulating them a bit is a little bit more challenging in a big container like that, although your big houseplants can do very well in there. So that's a real neat way to do this. Let me show you something else. Sometimes your plants have been distressed for whatever reason, and there's a way to revitalize them or actually feed them a little bit. Now, we've used compost in many other areas, out in the garden, on the trees, on the roses. It's good on houseplants too. You don't need to brew it a whole lot. What we do is we take a little bit of your homemade compost, that's the best one you can find, and you can see some down there with that little teaspoon. We will use 3 teaspoons in this combination right here. So we put it in there last night, and then we let it sit, make the extract, but it has the compost in there. And in order to spray it, I've got to get that out of there or it'll clog. Now this comes from a paint store. Really nice. You could use a coffee filter if you had enough to hold it in there. And so I will pour this in here. The compost particles stay on top, and you can see the tea that's coming out of the bottom. So this makes a little tea. It's an extract of the nutrients that are in the compost. And then the next thing is you take that and pour it into your sprayer. So now we have it in here, and you can use this on any plants, whether they're on the porch or inside the house. They all benefit from this little compost spray. So it's not just outdoors. And so we'll go through here, and just a light mist also. And underneath, you know, you can get rid of red spider that might be accumulating down there, but you get nutrients, and the plants just kind of come back to life. And so that's a real good idea to do. Well, for Backyard Basics, I'm Dromgoole. I'll see you next time.